for Super Bowl superlatives. Wilds, buddy, it's like seeing you superlatives back in high school. Literally my favorite part of the yearbook, as you might imagine. But let's start with the Tampa Bay Bucs for our superlatives. Brandon, the Bucs player most likely to wreck the Chiefs' game plan is blank.
So let's go to the Todd Bowles defense, and let's go to the defensive line. They're going to have to get it done with the front four. They can't blitz this guy like they did in Week 12 in the first half. So I got to go with JPP. And I could have easily gone with Shaq Barrett. Both of these guys did a phenomenal job against the Green Bay Packers. And, Nick, that offensive line that they're going against this week in Kansas City, they're not good. They're banged up. So this guy should have a phenomenal game.
So I understand that, and I get the idea Chiefs are without both tackles, but one of those tackles, Mitchell Schwartz, has been out 3 months. He was out when they played the Bucs the first time around, but the loss of Eric Fisher is big. But even without Eric Fisher, I do not think the Bucs can prevent the Chiefs from scoring at least 32 points. So the Bucs are going to have to score. Okay. So the player is Gronk, because Gronk has history not only with Brady, but history against the Chiefs in the playoffs. The AFC Championship game, he made the biggest plays in overtime and late in that game. In that year's Super Bowl, the only big offensive play of the entire Super Bowl was Brady to Gronk. And the Chiefs are not good at covering the tight end position. It's probably their biggest weakness on defense. So for all those reasons, Wilds, I think Gronk is the player the Chiefs are going to have to contend with the most.
Oh, yeah, because there's too many weapons. There's too many holes in the defense. He's too fast. It's Scotty Too Hotty, baby. Scotty Miller is out there, fastest player on the field. You forget about him. There's so many weapons out there. Then bingo, end of the first half. Who's open? Scotty Miller for the touchdown. Break the back of the Chiefs.
Scotty
Too Hotty.
Too Hotty.
All right, what about the Kansas City Chiefs side? Patrick Mahomes has been known to wreak havoc on opposing defenses, as has Tyreek Hill, as has Travis Kelce, as has about a dozen others on this team. But, Brandon, the Chiefs player most likely to wreck the Bucs game plan is blank.
Hey, you heard Bill Parcells say, build your team in the trenches, offensive line, defensive line, and that's where this game is going to be won. We can talk about the great quarterbacks, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. We can talk about Mike Evans. We can talk about Tyreek Hill, Kelce, Gronkowski, all we want. But this Super Bowl is going to be won in the trenches. So I have to go with the guy, Chris Jones. Chris Jones, not for what we know him as, is the guy that can get to the quarterback, but a guy who needs to stop the run. Because Tom Brady, it's not going to be him lighting up the scoreboard. It's not going to be him throwing the ball all over the field. It's going to be him handing the ball off and then also playing great situational football. So I expect Chris Jones to step up if they want to repeat.
So I love Chris Jones. I think you could argue he's the second most important player on the team. But I was listening to Brandon earlier, and Brandon was talking about doubling Kelce and doubling Hill. So the Chiefs have 5 offensive linemen plus Mahomes plus Kelce and Hill. That's 8 players. We're talking about the Bucs rushing with 4 plus putting 2 on Hill, 2 on Kelce. That's 8 players. That means the other 3 Chiefs offensive players would all have one-on-one. So that means it's Sammy Watkins. I'm calling him back. He hasn't played in the playoffs yet. Sammy Watkins, he's the one that beat Richard Sherman down the sideline to set up the go-ahead touchdown in last year's Super Bowl.
Look at that lunge.
Sammy Watkins, I expect him to be healthy for this Super Bowl.
What's that lunge,
Hey, man,
Brandon?
that's old footage. That's old footage. Don't worry about that. Sammy's going to show up for the Super Bowl,
do that
parachute
lunge,
in, make some big plays. Hey,
what
folks,
is that?
stop laughing at... Hey, he's dealing with a groin injury, y'all. Y'all are laughing at my man. Just stop laughing at him. That's old footage dealing with an injury.
I mean,
Sammy Watkins in one-on-one coverage wrecks the Bucs game plan of doubling Hill and Kelce Wilds.
Okay, I like that. I don't know if you saw Bill Barnwell's newest article, Nick. Future Patriot Sammy Watkins, according to resident GM, and he's resident football operations president of your new future franchise. You know who I like? Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'm expecting a big bookend game for him. Remember the first game of the season had a monster game? Maybe last game of the season had a monster game. The weird part about his season, hampered by injuries, he had 2 games over 125 yards, 2 games under 25 yards. So I expect him to have a big comeback in the Super Bowl. I don't think the Bucs are planning to have him contribute. I can see him having a big breakout game.
Ooh,
He's like
good
even
take.
Steven. Let's talk some bulletin board material now. Every player looking for every ounce of motivation as they prepare for every angle of Sunday's game. You had Scotty, Too Hotty Miller, and Tyreek Hill joking about racing at halftime, but Brandon, the player most likely to provide bulletin board material is blank.
Oh, for sure, the Honey Badger. I mean, he's already starting stuff. I'm minding my business, watching the Green Bay Packers take on the Tampa Bay Bucs, and I'm talking about Leonard Fournette, and this dude jumps in the comments talking about it's our time, we're going to shut him down. It's friendly fire. Both of those guys are LSU Tigers, but come on, Tyrann Mathieu is already starting stuff, so it got to be him.
All right, well, I assume we mean moving forward, because obviously Shaq Barrett has already provided massive bulletin board material saying Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers are the same person. So that's already pinned up on the bulletin board. But if we mean moving forward, the answer is Frank Clark. Frank Clark is a professional trash talker. Frank Clark is going to say something about sacking Tom Brady. You can guarantee it. Frank Clark called a shot last year about shutting down Derrick Henry before the game, called a shot on Jimmy Garoppolo, ended that game with a sack. Frank Clark, a quiet season for him. I expect him to be loud in the lead up to the Super Bowl, and I expect him to be loud in the Super Bowl wilds.
It's a good one. I like it.
Nobody has been more disciplined in their trash talk than Tyreek Hill, whose nickname is the Cheetah, and he was challenged to a race, and he said, oh, he had the right answer. Then fast forward a little bit, and he was like, well, maybe we'll set something up at halftime. No one that plays with this much bravado, when you can literally wave to people goodbye and do backflips into the end zone, is going to spend the next few days just saying, yeah, that's a good point, Scotty Miller. You're a great player. Tyreek Hill is going to break this week. I predict it.
Look at that one-on-one press. Get out of here.
On to the MVP. Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes have combined to take home 3 of the last 6 Super Bowl MVP awards. Von Miller, Nick Foles, and Hall of Famer Julian Edelman, the others. So, Brandon, the non-quarterback most likely to win Super Bowl MVP Sunday is blank.
I like this question, right? Because we know it's usually the quarterback that gets this award. And if it's not a quarterback, say a wide receiver goes off, the quarterback still gets it. So I'm going to go with a running back. I'm going to go with Leonard Fournette because I truly believe the game plan for Tampa Bay and the recipe for them to win is going to be on the ground. So I like Leonard Fournette. It seems like he's just now hitting mid-season stride. I think he's going to have around 10 catches out of the backfield, and he's also going to be lights out on the ground. So I'm going to go with Leonard Fournette. Yeah,
it's so hard for a pass catcher to win this award because if he has a big game, then assuredly the quarterback did. There is an exception there. If a pass catcher is involved in your running game. And so I'm going to say Tyreek Hill. If Tyreek Hill gets the play that McCole Hardman got called for him last week, the end around, and he goes for 60 yards on it, Tyreek Hill also could potentially be involved in the special teams, so he could have a massive game without all the yards coming via Mahomes' arm. So for that reason, I think Mahomes is going to win Super Bowl MVP, but if he's not, I think Tyreek Hill's got a chance, and he's the best dancer in the game.
That's good. That's a good take. I'm going to go with Mike Evans because Brady's been in 6 Super Bowls. He's won 4 MVPs, won 6 Super Bowls. He won 4 MVPs. Deion Branch won 1. And, of course, Hall of Famer Julian Edelman added to his Canton resume. It'll go up there and say, Hall of Famer Julian Edelman, Super Bowl MVP, second most playoff receiving yards. Just adds to a stellar resume, Jenna, as it might continue this year. And, we hope his knee comes back a little. I'm just trying to fill. I thought I was going to cut off, but I appreciate Pepper just giving me the platform.
I worry.
Julian Edelman.
I worry
so rightfully
where
deserves.
your state of mind is going to be when Julian Edelman does not get into the hall. Anyway, let's take a turn. We got to talk